This is Gwendolyn. She's a 2-year-old corgi. She's actually the second one they brought home. The first one that they brought home is coming on Tuesday. Initially, they got along. They had all the freedom. They had a doggy door, no crates. They laid together. And then fast forward to today, they're attacking on sight. Okay. She is the aggressor. Okay. For example, the video that we have, Jackson is just laying on the couch, minding his own business. She bursts into the room. He jumps off the couch, and they're in a bloodbath. Really? There hasn't been, I can show you the video. There hasn't been a lot of broken skin, a couple wounds on Jackson's ears, but if you look at their necks are so covered in hair that it's actually hard to actually do any damage, but the fights are really nasty and they have to be pulled off of each other. Okay. They've tried e-collars, but they thought this probably needs a little professional help. Right. She resource guards. She tries to be alpha over him. She knows her commands, but doesn't always listen. Lots of barking. Barking at noises, barking in the backyard, barking at the fence line, barking when the truck pulls up to the driveway, barking when company is over, barking on walks. They've tried to do it on their own. Recently, since they did a video chat with me, they've just been creating and rotating. Okay. Just to keep everything really safe. Destroys the heck out of toys, like mutilates them. Obviously a lot of anxiety, you know, she's definitely anxious. And also when they do try to reprimand her, she runs away from them. Okay. So definitely need a recall. I want to show you this video. All right. So I think it would be helpful for you to see this.
Watch it one more time. So she's able to win those fights.
Correct. And the owner said a lot of the fights, when they had them both out at the same time, were triggered around meal times.
Resources.
So she gets into a headspace when she knows meal's coming that's like super elevated.
Right. Makes sense.
Excited. And so that was, that video she said was right before a mealtime. Okay. So here you go.
I think we'll just get started with the recall, you know, make sure we can get her to us. Hi, Gwen. How are you? Smells the other dogs. What do you think? Humans are resources too, to most dogs. Okay, I see. Let her get acquainted with the room. Come. Good girl.
Every time she walks away, it starts over.
Come here, Gwen.
This is also going to work on the stay. And
Come here, Gwen.
This is also going to address her issue of running
Good.
away from people.
We'll be addressing that jumping too in a little bit. Giving her some freebies right now. Unless it gets too bad.
Oh, they're cute. They are such cute dogs.
Yeah.
That's why people get them.
Come here, Gwen. Come. Good. You're smart, huh? It's a good girl. It's a good girl. Good. Come here. Good girl.
Oh.
Good girl. Come. Gwen, come. Good. Good girl. her little tiny legs. Ticka 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 ticka.
Yeah, they're like a quarter of an inch long.
Gwen, come.
Closing in the box. She did it for the first couple times, and now she says, you know what?
This is
I'm
typical.
done playing.
Because she knows
I'm done playing the game.
Why?
Because it gives up her free will.
She understands we're talking about control.
Yes.
Come here. Come here. So she's now on a higher number than she was before, but she's not reacting to it because she understands.
And this is why her owner is so excited
Good.
for this training.
Good. So once the dog understands it's a hierarchical conversation, that's when you see the resistance.
Yep.
Good. Good. Break. Good girl. Good girl. Oops, I want to step on your paws. What a good young lady, huh? What a good girl.
Josh is setting a boundary for himself. He's saying, I want to pet you, but you're not allowed to jump all over me.
She's never submitted to a human. So that's what I'm feeling. She can use charm.
She's probably never submitted to anything in her life.
Yeah.
Even a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, charm. That seems to be her go-to. And then flight.
Okay. Good. Much more respect. Good. She sees humans as hosts. And what I mean by that is they're just resources. They're like, humans are valuable because they can do things for us. They can open doors. They can get us food. They can love on us. They're highly valued. I can see that. But they're hosts. They're not part of the pack in a way where they're above and they're leaders. Because if they were, fighting's off the table with the other dog, right? I've lived with dogs that want to fight. If I wasn't around, if I wasn't in their pack, they would want to fight each other. But because I'm the leader of the pack, they understand that they can't fight because then they have to deal with me. And that's how we kind of overcome that. I keep the harmony amongst the two dogs because they're both below me in the hierarchy, and the rule is you guys don't have those conversations. And if I catch you thinking about having those conversations, then you have to deal with me. And that gets it off the table initially. And then over time, they find different ways to cope. And that becomes the default. If we don't do that, the fighting becomes the default. The dogs don't even really think anymore. They're triggered into fighting when they're around resources such as food or people or a couch or anything they find valuable to fight over. And then they're not even thinking anymore. That just becomes the associated behavior. If we can become leader and say no to fighting, they'll find different associated behaviors like, oh, here comes that time where we usually fight over resources. Now my coping skill is to come over here and be quiet and wait, right? And I trust that my leader's going to take care of the situation. So like this, as bad as it looks, it just comes down to the same issue as why the puppy who's non-aggressive isn't listening. It's a relationship thing within the pack, so it's hierarchy. If we're able to establish leadership, we can say no to anything and stop it, and that includes fighting. That includes destruction of the property. That includes peeing in the house. That includes barking at the mailman, anything. So it's really no different. It has higher consequences because fighting is very traumatic and dangerous, but it's really just a symptom of the core issue. We don't have the right hierarchy and the right relationship to influence the dog to the point where we can say no, or I like to say shh, and then everything stops, right? We can say no to that behavior, no to that response, find a different response. Nope, I didn't like that response. Find a different response. Fine, that one's acceptable. Do that response. Go relax, right? So queen bee right here, she's the queen of the house, so of course she's gonna fight the other dog over the resources. I'm sure it was a natural conversation the first time. I'm sure it was like this came to my dog brain naturally, and then it just became an associated response. There might not even be a need for it. Like in the video, it's about dinner time, but the other dog's not even around the food, but it's like, that's what we do. That's what we do. This is part of the ritual of eating. This is how it's went. This is how it goes. So once they find a response that works, they just keep doing it. They don't change things up, right? That's why dogs do the same things over and over again. That's why they're very predictable. I bark at the mailman, it worked. I always bark at the mailman now, right? So, but if it doesn't work, you gotta find another response, especially if somebody's there holding you accountable. So, I started recall with her, went pretty well. She tested the boundary a little bit. I'm sure there's gonna be more to come. Once she realized it was about control and hierarchy and relationship, she was like, oh, okay, now I can't do this, otherwise I'm giving this guy leadership, right? We see that a lot with dogs. And then she was coming to me and she was trying to use charm, which is another technique a dog will use to butter up a human to get out of consequence, to be on the good side of the human, to manipulate the situation, to influence the situation. She was jumping on me a lot. I corrected her for jumping on me. She kept trying to crawl into my space, and then I had the conversation of claiming my space, and now she's giving me more respect. The dynamic in this relationship is probably one she's never had before, so it's new to her, but this is what she needs. When you're the leader, your dog shouldn't be able to come up into your personal space and start pestering you for loving, for food, or for anything. That in the dog world gets corrected, right? They only get things when you offer them things, when you tell them, here, this is for you. And that includes petting and stuff. I don't let my dogs come up to me and start demanding me to pet them and touch them. If they can do that, then they're leading me.
They're telling you what to do.
They're able to come over to me.
Telling them what to do.
Yes. They're able to do an action and have me perform, right? Where I'm not able to do that to them. So that's the relationship dynamic. She's able to do things to get you to do things, but you're not able to influence her. So in her eyes, she's above. She loves you, she likes you, but you're not relevant enough to, and I'm just saying generally, I'm not saying necessarily just these people who own this particular dog. Most dog owners aren't relevant enough. They're not seen as the leader. They're not seen as an authority figure. So the dog, you can't influence them, especially in situations where you really need it. You can't say no and it stops. You can't say do and they do, right? And that's a relationship issue. Everything else that we complain about, the laundry list, symptoms of that issue, of the core issue. The relationship isn't proper, right? You're not leader. You haven't created a follower. The dog actually is either sees themselves above you or equal to you. They're both a problem. Above you is obviously a problem, right? If they see themselves as above you, that's an obvious problem. But if they see themselves as equal, they still feel like it's yeah, it's negotiable. It's a democracy. We can take a vote. I can still sometimes influence the situation, right? So it's still difficult. They need to be below. They need to be followers. And anytime they try to sneak out of that position and not be a follower, the leader corrects to keep that maintenance of the hierarchy. It's how it works in a pack, okay? The reason it doesn't happen at dog homes is because we're not looking at it through a lens of a pack. We're not looking at it through a lens of hierarchy. We get dogs to make us feel good, to increase the quality of our lives. We want to be able to pet them, to give them things to make them happy because it makes us happy. And we're not thinking about hierarchy or pack at all. And then the consequence of that is a dog who doesn't listen. And the consequence of that is the laundry list, including fighting, barking, biting, pulling on the leash, all these things that everybody complains about. So the big shift for the humans is to start thinking with the lens of the pack and you being leader. Seeing the disrespects, the things that you might think are cute, her coming up and jumping on you, that's a disrespect. That should be corrected. Instead, it gets pet, right? It gets pet. So now she's getting pet for being respectful. So she's going to get my affection. She's going to get all the rewards for being respectful, calm, and compliant follower. Anything other than that gets corrected, right? So I'm not going to pet her for free. I'm not going to pet her when she comes over and jumps on me. I'm not going to pet her when she starts whining, for sure. I'm not going to pet her when I don't approve of her state. I'm going to pet her when I pet her. I'm telling her I like what you're doing right now. It's a reward. Okay, good. And that's going to mean a lot when you have the contrast of correction and punishment, right? If you don't have that contrast, petting doesn't really mean as much. You know, it means so much more when they also know you can punish. Because when they're being pet, you're saying, I love what you're doing. Right? No punishment. I'm happy with you. I'm your leader. I like the follower mentality. Good. Good girl. See, she wants to jump on me. But if she does, I'll correct her. Because I have to think leader-follower in order to have control over this dog so nobody gets hurt. Right? Good. They're dogs. You have to remember they're dogs. You got to know what a dog is. You got to know what a dog brain thinks like. That way we can adjust how we behave around them. And then that really makes all the difference. Now we have a way to correct her when she leaves here. We'll have the e-collar, she'll have the training. But it's really not as effective if we don't know how to think. You know, if we don't understand dogs and we don't understand that we need to correct these disrespects, or we don't even recognize them as disrespectful behaviors. So we see them as cute and charming. So we actually reward the behaviors that we should be correcting, and that will all add up to a dog who doesn't listen and who is running the roost and doing all the bad stuff that she's doing. And I'm not saying the other dog's innocent either. I don't know the other dog, but I'm sure it doesn't listen either, right?
No, they just told me this morning to chill down when they tell her, but he won't. So he's got a whole different.
Yeah, so it's all the same issue, different symptoms, but the issue is the hierarchy is not one where the humans are leaders and the dogs are followers, and they're being held accountable for being followers. Good. See, she sees me different already than she's ever seen anybody. Good. Good. And the poor young lady here, she's probably dying for a leader. She came in here anxious mess, not because she was somewhere new, it's just how she is, right? Followers don't do that, right? Dogs who are trying to lead do that. They're frustrated that they're on a leash because they want to be making their own decisions. Okay. You a cute little girl? Man, they have a lot of hair.
I know.
They shed, huh?
Yeah. Remember when I told you to brush Barkley?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys shed a lot, huh? You got a lot of fur. You're a good girl. Yes, she is. Oh, you are a good girl. Yes, you are a good girl. Yes, you are. Grab my remote. Are you a good girl? Yes, you are. Who's your baby, baby? Who's the baby? Who's a good girl? Who? Nice work, Gwen. I like that name. What is it full?
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn. I like Gwen. Do they call her Gwen? I'm sure they do, right?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they're going to say Gwendolyn every time.
Jack.
Gwendolyn? Gwendolyn. Gwen, come. Come here, Gwen. Good girl. Wow, good girl. Come here. Good. Wow. Good. Leave him there. I want to try to stay here. Stay. It's a good girl. Shh. Stay. Break. Wow, Gwen. Wow. Okay, let him in. Thank you. He's not going to be so easy to beat up, sweetheart. Oh, yeah, she notices already. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She is. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, you little thing. Good. She's smart. She's smart.
Corgis are usually pretty smart.
Are they? She peed a little when he sniffed her.
On the video that I posted, a lot of people commented that work at dog daycares, and they said that corgis are a nightmare.
She don't like that look. She don't like that, but she's
They nip, they
Yeah,
purr,
good.
they bark.
Good. Yeah. Good. 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 I think I haven't owned one, but we trained a bunch of them. They do naturally do all those things. You really have to have a strong leader to shape them young. I'm willing to bet though, just like any dog, we've trained dogs that are known to not be able to be pet dogs, right? People say it all the time. Huskies, Malinois, hounds,
ESP.
beagles, yeah. And if you have the right relationship, I think they can be great.
She very well could be guarded if she wanted to.
Well, I'm showing her right now that I can keep him away too. But yeah, she could be guarding me. Yeah, but look.
If she wanted to.
So,
She could've told him to take
but I'm the only one in this room that's corrected her, and she wants to be with me.
Yes.
So I don't, Riggs, come on. Licking me right in the mouth, on the kneecap, licking me on the kneecap.
Yeah, because he's claiming.
But watch this.
Mine.
Out. He is, because she is. But look, you got to be able to do that. Good. Good. Okay, break. Good. 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 Go ahead. Good. Good. That's a good girl. Look at you. I don't want to get ahead of myself because I just started with her and I haven't met her brother, but we've had this happen over and over and over again. The dogs who people are saying are the worst dogs typically shape up to be great, like even better typically than the dog that they don't complain about, as far as the training process goes. So it'll be interesting to see how she does. She's really taken to me really quick. So it's feeling like it's going to go pretty good. She finally found herself somebody she can lean on. So she seems like she's enjoying it. If she continues to have that mentality of enjoying to have the leader around, not saying she's not going to make her mistakes, not saying she's not going to have her attitude. I have a feeling that right there, that drive to be part of my pack and to be willing to be the follower, that's going to make her transformation a lot smoother. When a dog has the drive to be part of your pack, right? Some dogs come in here and it takes them a week before they want to be part of my pack. She's already saying, I want to be part of your pack. And I'm saying, cool, I want you part of my pack too, but back here as follower. Okay? So I will show you, I will be the role model to show you what it looks like to follow a human. What are the do's and don'ts as a follower? Break.
Yay!
Good.
Her release score has been okay in the past, but
We'll change that.
We're changing it to break.
Yeah, because you say okay too much.
You say okay too much.
Yeah. I guess we'll let her out here. Break. She's interested with him. She wants to have conversations with him. She's a little hesitant. He's big, and she doesn't know him. There's no way in the natural world that she would want to fight with him. No. There's just no way.
No way.
And I think she's sensing that.
Yeah.
that she just naturally can't take him in a fight. And so she has to end up being a follower with him and with me. Good. Look at her in there. I want to recall her in. Come. That's my girl. Good girl, Gwen. Good. Wow, honey girl, that's so good. That's a good girl. Stay. Good girl. Break.
Yay.
Wow. She's already learning how to make me happy, which is listening. No. You know that word. You know. I mean, she understands.
Have tried.
Now she's running away. God, that was it. You know what? You know what's up. You know what happened there. Good. Excuse me. Good girl. You know what happened there. Good girl. Stay. It's a great first session. Good. Stay. Good. Break. Wow. Good girl. Break. Come here. That's it. Hi, Gwen. How are you? That's nice. Look at Gwen. Look at her. Look at what Gwen is doing. Look at what Gwen is doing. Not the way she's doing it for me. Not the reason. Gwen, that's amazing. Gwen, that's amazing. Good girl. She's submitting in her own little way.
Says, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Look at the fucking teeth on these dogs.
I know. They're built to bite. They're built to herd.
Yes, it's all right. It's all right. Hey. That's so we've talked about this a billion times, but when a dog's not meant to lead, she's not a natural leader, yet she's allowed to lead, she's going to overreact. They overreact. And then those overreactions become the associated behaviors. So she's not naturally meant to lead. She's meant to follow, I can already tell. Because she's leading, she's overreacting. Those overreactions are in the form of those fights and everything like that. Like you said, a fork will drop on the ground. She in a natural pack, she would be getting corrected by the other dogs if she tried to respond to these situations or for those responses, because it's unstable responses. She's not getting corrected properly. She's being allowed to lead, and therefore she's overreacting to everything, and those overreactions become the associated response, and it just keeps happening and getting worse. What she needs is to be corrected for trying to lead, right? To be made a follower to the leader which is the human, and then we see all that anxiety go away. We see all those crazy overreactions and unstable behavior go away. Instability gets corrected in a dog pack. They don't let it happen. When a dog starts acting crazy for no reason, the other dogs correct. And if they don't stop, they're going to get pack attacked. Because the pack can't operate properly with one of them, with their screw loose, going crazy every time the wind blows. You know what I mean? So they literally get corrected for acting crazy, right? Good. She's not properly being corrected. There's something missing. If there is corrections at home, it's not done effectively. Good, because when it's done effectively, you're not doing it often. You do it up front in the beginning to curb the behavior, and then it's just like, the dog, it's very much relationship based, so they change the way that they respond to situations because they're no longer trying to lead and choose how to respond. They sit back, they let you choose how to respond. They're followers. They're not as stressed. They're not overreacting. Good. Good. Okay, she's got some processing to do. She's not used to being a follower. So it's a big pill to swallow when you've been leading your whole life and you're an adult. So, good girl. I can already see that she sees the benefit in it though. Break. That's a good girl. Come on, break. Come. Good girl. Look at you.
Wow.
Gwen, that's nice. Stay. Break. Good girl.